Have you been sporting roughly the same outfit since you graduated from college, and that was now 30 or 40 years ago? Today, I want to talk about evolving your personal style. I haven't really done the math, but I know that I've been out of college a really long time. And a lot of my style has evolved and changed, thankfully, and a lot of it has stayed the same. So I am not for 1 second saying that you shouldn't stick with what works. I'm saying that you want to sometimes come in with a little bit of a fresh perspective and a fresh outlook and really get clear on, is it time to evolve your style? Does your style and your wardrobe have some catching up to do? Hello, I'm Kristen from Kristen Kane Style. Welcome. I'm thrilled that you're here. I'm a style and mindset coach, and that means that I can help you create a wardrobe you absolutely love wearing by digging into what you're thinking, because what you're thinking is creating your result, even in your closet. If you'd like my help beginning to uncover the limiting beliefs that have been keeping you from having a style and a wardrobe you love wearing, style therapy is the way I work one-on-one with clients. There is a link down below. You can book a 1-hour free consultation and we can hop on a Zoom call. I can help you understand what's really going on in your wardrobe and with your style. And I can also help you decide if style therapy and working together is a good fit for you right now. So today, I want to just quickly explore this idea of evolving your style, because recently the video topics that I come up with either come from comments that you make down below. So if you have a topic you want me to address, please drop it below and I will add it to my roster. Most of the topics I address here come from client experiences. They come from experiences I have with one or many clients. And to be completely transparent, it's usually many. Rarely does a situation emerge that I have never heard before. It's usually sort of a trend, I guess, that begins where a client is struggling with something, and then lo and behold, a few other clients are struggling from that same thing. And I realize that it's time to address it here, because I want to always coach here so that if you're not interested in working with me one-on-one, but you still want to gain some tips and tricks for making your wardrobe work for you and for understanding how to do that when your brain might be getting in the way, I'll always show up here to offer that. So today, this topic came from some clients I have worked with recently who were kind of stuck in a style rut, in the sense that their style had not evolved and their wardrobe choices and their outfits had not evolved with them. So over the years, they had done a lot of work on themselves from a personal development standpoint. They'd possibly moved to a completely different area of the country or the world. They have had life circumstances that have changed who they are and how they operate and fundamentally how they show up in the world. And their wardrobe hadn't caught up with that. It's not that they hadn't purchased any new pieces or that they weren't trying to do something different, but they weren't really understanding kind of who they are today and how that was being affected or kind of even held back in these cases because of what was happening in their wardrobe. So today I want to talk about allowing yourself to have your style evolve and kind of rise up to meet you when you begin to grow and change. And so there are a couple things that I am hopeful that you will take away from this video. And they are, I want you to understand how to know when it's time, how to know if your wardrobe needs a refresh, how to begin the refresh process, because once you know that it's time, you need some tools to be able to start down that road. Why it matters. Why is it important to stay current and to have your wardrobe be aligned with who you are today? And then a little bit about simplicity and how helpful it is to make sure that the whole process and the wardrobe you create is simple, and also perfectionism, because I rarely hop on here to talk about a topic that relates to style that doesn't also have sort of an undercurrent of perfectionism. So I'm going to address a little bit of how perfectionism gets in the way when you decide that it's time to elevate your style and to evolve your style to meet who you are today. Okay, so how do you know that it's time to evolve your style? Most often I find that the women I work with know this on their own. They don't need any outside help. In the event that you're really stumped and you're not sure after I run through these few things to look for, then I would ask a friend or a family member who you trust and who you value their opinion and who you feel has good style and has done a good job of evolving their style as they've evolved as humans. You could ask them. But first and foremost, boredom, I find, is what shows up kind of at the front end of this. It's time to evolve. There's this sense of, I'm just really bored with my clothes. And often that is because you have outgrown them, not necessarily physically, but that could be the case. But you have outgrown them in the sense that you have become the next version of you, and your wardrobe is still the old version of you. So there's this sense of dissatisfaction or unease and boredom when you go to get dressed, because nothing really is lighting you up, because you're a different version of yourself than you were when those pieces were put in your wardrobe. And before you get ahead of yourself and get a little panicked that I'm going to tell you to get rid of everything because now you're a new version of yourself and none of that works, that is not what I'm going to suggest at all. I do have some suggestions and some things to offer moving forward in a minute. But do not think that if you have evolved and your style and your wardrobe is now kind of boring to you, that you have to change everything. That is not what I'm saying. It could be time for an upgrade when it just really feels like your wardrobe and your lifestyle no longer align. I see this a lot with women who have retired, or women who have become moms or grandmothers, or who have moved to a different country or a different city. If their situation has changed, the circumstance they find themselves in, their role in the world and in their lives has changed, but their wardrobe hasn't caught up yet, it can feel really incongruent. And so if you have a whole closet full of dresses and skirts and suits that you wore to work, but you're retired now, or you're working from home, those pieces likely don't feel like you. They need to evolve, even if evolving isn't elevating to a dressier standpoint. Because I think sometimes women think, well, if I'm going to elevate my style and I'm going to evolve, then it needs to be dressier or more formal or more put together than it was before. That isn't automatically true, because in the case of someone who's retired, or who has had children, or is having grandchildren, or who used to live in the city and has just moved to a farm, those clothes that you need for the new version of you, for your identity that you're currently in, could be much more casual than your work clothes. That can still be an evolution and even an upgrade and an elevation. It just is different. So you don't have to automatically go to something that feels more formal. You want to go to something that feels more in keeping and aligned with the version of you that you are today. If you find yourself frequently saying, I have nothing to wear, and possibly shopping for pieces that don't feel like they are actually solving the problem, that can be a sign that it's not about not having anything to wear, and it's not about buying more pieces. It's about really getting clear on who are you right now, and have you possibly just outgrown the wardrobe that you have. And that doesn't, again, mean getting rid of it. It means really understanding how have you changed and what do you need from your clothing to support who you are at this point in your life. And why does it matter if you evolve your style? Why can't you just keep wearing the same old clothes? Well, you certainly can. But my guess is if you're watching this video, you're not feeling like that feels super good. And so by evolving your style, you allow yourself to really, truly express yourself in the fullest way at this stage of your life as this version of yourself. You're not trying to have clothing that used to serve you work for the person you are today, because that incongruence, that inconsistency, that misalignment shows up in who you are on any given day. So if you don't feel supported by your wardrobe, even if you're not actually actively thinking about it in the moment, you're not really as present, you're not really as fully yourself if your clothing doesn't really truly light you up when you put it on. And staying current just makes you feel more confident. I hear it countless times from clients when they start to feel like their wardrobe is a little dated, or even if it's still kind of current, but the way they're wearing it is an old version of themselves way to wear it, that the outfits, the pieces might be fine, but they're not sure how to combine them so that they work for the new life they live on the farm, playing with grandchildren, running a startup, whatever that looks like. So it's not, again, that you have to scrap all the pieces and edit them out and shop for brand new things. It's that you need to understand who this new version of you is and how she wants to look and feel when she gets dressed. Because by wearing pieces that really support the life that you're living and the person, the version of you that you are today, you're inspired. You show up feeling more confident and more ready and more capable, because our clothing has that power. And it boosts your self-esteem because it's fun to get dressed. Clothes are meant to be fun. And we're meant to experiment with them and to have our creativity and our sense of kind of who we are and that signature style vibe. Like, we want to get in our closet and play with what we have and understand what pieces from our past lives work and what pieces we might need to add or let go of, so that we can feel inspired to have fun with our clothing, not in an attempt to become a fashionista who, just keeps creating more outfits for the sake of creating outfits, but so that you can show up feeling vital and current and relevant as you get older. It's just a really magical thing to have your clothing really support you at every stage of your life. So recognizing when it's time to have your style evolve because you've evolved is just a really cool thing. So where to begin? If you've decided that, you know what, yep, I want to evolve my style, I need to freshen things up, where do I start? You want to start by reflecting on your current style. You want to really take a peek at what you've been wearing and evaluate what works, what could work in this new world, what do I find myself pulling from my existing closet that I'm making work, and am I making do because I don't have anything else, or am I making it work but I'm missing some pieces and I need to fill in the gaps? Evaluate what you already have in your closet and get really clear on what's in there that's working and what's in there that isn't serving you anymore. And then the next thing you want to do is kind of define your goal. Like, what do you want at the end of the day? Okay, I work on a farm. I need 5 days, 7 days worth of clothing that launders easily, that I still feel like myself in, that I'm warm enough in, that has some sort of footwear that I can slip on really easily, but I still feel okay if somebody pulls in my driveway and I have to say hello to them. What matters now, and what are your goals? I actually work from home 4 days a week, and I want to make sure that I have great tops and jewelry that really make me feel like myself in this part of my life. And then I want some matching sets to wear in the evening when I watch TV with my partner. What matters to you? What are your goals? How will you know when you've evolved your style? What are the thoughts and feelings that you're seeking from a new sense of wardrobe and style? I want to feel really grounded and calm because my past self was really in a very stressful set of circumstances, and that's changed, and I'm feeling more grounded and calm, but my wardrobe doesn't mirror that. So I want to make sure that the clothing that I bring in and the outfits that I choose and the pieces that I keep contribute to that feeling of grounded and calm. Whatever those things are, those feelings and those thoughts, you want to identify what your goals are for your wardrobe at this stage, the version of you, who you are today. What does she need from her wardrobe, and how will you know when you're there? And then I say this all the time, you want to start small. You do not want to get in there and get rid of all the things and then wish that you had kept that one great cream sweater because it actually would work for this new wardrobe that you're building to live the new life that you live. You want to start small. I suggest starting with one category, really examining tops. How are my tops functioning for me? Really examining your current wardrobe and pull out anything that's from a different life that you absolutely know you will not wear. I cannot tell you how many closets I am involved in when we do their edit, and they have things that they wore to work decades ago that they are not planning to ever wear again. Sometimes they're not even the size that they would need to wear today, and they're hanging on to them. Pay attention to what that does to your brain and the feelings that it brings up in your body every time you look at those pencil skirts. My guess is that it's not some sort of fabulous feeling. It might be neutral, but it's even the neutral thoughts and feelings are taking up space in your brain, and the clothing is taking up space in your closet. And if you could get that out, get rid of those pencil skirts, pass them on, donate them, pack them up and save them in a box for some other time or for a daughter or a granddaughter, because they're really great pencil skirts. When you have them hanging in your closet and you're constantly looking at them, it's like a record skip almost. It trips you up. It's like a sharp fingernail that snags on things. It stops the ease and the flow of having your wardrobe just work for you when there are pieces in there that don't support the newly evolved version of you that you are. And we want to eliminate that. We want to bring your wardrobe up to meet you. So start small. Start in a category. Start with pieces you know you can eliminate quickly and easily, like the things you're never going to wear again, either because they don't fit or they're worn out or your life is not that life anymore. And if you ever return to an office, you might want to wear a pencil skirt again, but you're going to buy a couple new ones. And recognize that perfectionism might get kind of loud here. You might have thoughts that you could do this wrong, that you used to know how to wear the clothing for your old version of you, but now that you've evolved some and changed, you like who you are, but you have absolutely no idea what you should be wearing, and you could mess it up, so you should keep waiting. You should keep wearing the old things or, the lazy go-tos because you're not sure you can do it right. You might think the all or nothing mindset of a perfectionist is usually very strong, that it is all or nothing. Either you get rid of all of it and you start fresh, or you don't do anything and you keep wearing the things that don't feel so great. You might really be concerned about what others will think. There's usually a sense of kind of a fear of judgment or a people pleasing that's in place for perfectionists, in which case you might not want to take any action unless your partner approves, or unless you know that the girl at the shop where you always shop is on board with this new change. I want you to understand that the perfectionist thoughts can get kind of loud, and the best way I find to combat them is to thank your brain. Your brain only does what it does to keep you alive, to keep you safe. And so your brain thinks that this is maybe a bad idea because it feels unfamiliar and therefore unsafe. So thank your brain. Thank you, brain. I recognize that it feels new and scary to now be elevating my wardrobe since I just kind of elevated myself. And yet I really, truly want to feel great when I get dressed. And I'm recognizing that the wardrobe I have isn't really doing it for me right now. So how about if we just go to a store and try on some new, and it seems ridiculous to talk to your brain like this. When I first started this practice, truly, I thought this is just unnecessary and silly. And yet I now recognize that it is the fastest way to calm my nervous system, to really, truly allow my brain to be recognized, to recognize that those thoughts are only designed to keep me safe, and that I'm not going to do anything risky, and that if I walk into a store and just want to look around a little bit and see and maybe try on a couple pieces, I don't have to buy anything today. I'm just exploring what my options are. Allow your brain to get on board. It's similar to a toddler, as ridiculous as that might sound. Your brain has a tantrum pretty quickly because it wants to keep you safe, and it knows that if it can get really loud, it will get your attention, and it likes you to do things that you've done in the past because it likes the routine, it saves energy, it likes automation. So if you're trying to change something in your wardrobe, your brain needs to have a little bit of time to get on board, and it needs you to remind it that actually it's going to be okay, that eliminating the pencil skirts is not going to be the end of the world. If in any time in the future you need to have pencil skirts again, you will be absolutely able to source new pencil skirts. You've already done it once. You have evidence of that. You could do it again. So get your brain on board by talking kindly to yourself, and specifically kindly to your brain when it shows up to protect you by telling you you shouldn't change anything. And along that same line of talking to ourselves kindly and paying attention to our brain and our thoughts, it is okay to change and evolve. Style is supposed to be fluid, the same as we as humans from childhood through the end of our lives. Our bodies change, our cells change, our hair changes, our nails change, our skin changes. That is by design. That is how it works. And so your style follows suit. Your style needs to change and evolve with you. You shouldn't be wearing the same clothes you were wearing in 6th grade, obviously. So it's the same idea. So just giving yourself permission to have your style evolve. Even if, and I say this as someone who very recently brought a brown sweater into my wardrobe, even if you have been kind of loud and proud about the fact that you don't wear brown and it doesn't make you happy and you don't own anything brown that isn't a belt or a pair of shoes, and then you decide that you want to have a brown cardigan in your wardrobe and you want to wear it often, even then, I am allowed to change my mind. I'm allowed to evolve. This version of me wants to wear a brown sweater. And so, yes, in the past, that wasn't part of my wardrobe. And if I decided that I could not change that because I had once announced very publicly in a YouTube video that I don't like brown and I don't wear brown, if I had decided that that meant I can't wear brown, I'd be missing out on this incredible new brown sweater I now have. Grant yourself permission to evolve and have your wardrobe evolve to meet the new versions of you along the way. Keep in mind, again, as the perfectionism kind of bubbles up, that every choice you make, every step towards letting your wardrobe come to meet the version of you are today is a step in the right direction, even if it feels like a mistake. Even if you buy something and then you wait too long and you can't return it and it isn't actually as great as you thought and you've spent money on it and now you feel guilty, you have learned something. You have learned that maybe you need to pay more attention to your return window. Maybe you need to listen more to your inner voice and to that style self-trust when you're in the fitting room trying to decide if you should purchase something. Maybe you need to not take that friend or that sister shopping with you because she's the one who loved that piece. You didn't love it and you listened to her and bought it anyway. Recognize that taking action, it's not always linear. And yet at the same time, every choice that you make along this journey of evolving your style to become congruent with who you are today as you make each of those choices, even if you wouldn't make them again, you're learning something from them and you are growing your style self-trust and you are ultimately getting where you want to go, even if it feels like, oh, I blew that. That didn't work exactly the way I wanted it to. Each choice is moving you closer to the new style for the new version of you. When we hold back and we don't take action because we're afraid we're going to make a mistake, our wardrobe stays the same. We keep wearing the old things that don't actually feel amazing on us anymore, that don't feel in alignment with who we are today. We need to take action in order to gather enough information and enough momentum to actually get the result that we want. Our brain gets on board as we take the actions, even if sometimes those actions feel like, oh, I would do it differently the next time. You've learned. So let go of the idea that this process has to be perfect. You want to have it kind of unfold and evolve as you go. So it's not a once and done. Whoever this version of you is who now owns a farm, she's going to continue to get better at understanding what kind of footwear really supports her, how warm a jacket she needs, what kind of sweaters work with whatever the animals are or the activities are that she's doing on the farm, or whatever your circumstance is. If you've now decided you're going to start painting, what kind of painter clothes do you want? When the artist version of you, as you evolve to really truly kind of step fully into that identity, how does she dress? Pay attention to that and allow yourself the experimentation to really truly let your wardrobe rise up to meet you and support you as you are today. And celebrate the journey. As you wear each new combo, as you shop for a new pair of shoes that will support the new life you live, or you look for that great sweater that's going to be your creating sweater, or whatever it is, allow yourself to celebrate, allow yourself to be excited about it and inspired by it. It's a really incredible, beautiful part of being human that we do change and we do evolve and we do continue to better ourselves in so many ways. Allow your wardrobe to do the same so that it can support you as you continue to grow and change and evolve. Okay, that's all for today. I would love to know, does your wardrobe feel like it's evolved to meet this version of you, who you are today, or do you have a little bit of work to do? If you would like my help doing that work, Style Therapy is how we do that. It's my one-on-one signature coaching program. All the details are linked down below. And if you're not already on my email list, why not? Get on my email list. There's a link down below. You can join that today. And I'll add a video here that you can watch next so that you can keep going and keep building momentum on this journey to have your wardrobe really support your life. Thanks so much for being here. I'll be back next Friday with a new video. Have a great week.